Welcome everyone to this explainer of the 2026 FIFA World Cup. Man, we are deep into the knockout stages right now, and I gotta tell you, the energy across North America is just absolutely electric. Okay, let's dive into this, because this tournament is already writing history, and we have some absolutely colossal quarterfinal matchups to break down today.
To truly wrap your head around the sheer magnitude of what we're watching, you really just have to look at this one number, 104. That's the total number of matches in this sprawling, completely unprecedented 2026 event. We're literally witnessing the largest iteration of the beautiful game's ultimate prize ever conceived.
And this massive schedule, it's spread across 3 host nations, the United States, Canada, and Mexico. The geographical and logistical scope is just staggering, spanning 16 different host cities and featuring a whopping 48 competing teams. But out of those original 48, we've now whittled it down to the absolute elite. The margins for error are completely gone. It's win or go home.
Round of 16 drama, surviving the knockouts.
Let's quickly look back at the recent high-stakes thrillers that actually brought us to these quarterfinals. The round of 16 delivered literally everything you could possibly want as a football fan. Late drama, stunning upsets, and of course, penalty heartbreak. Take the sheer tension of the Switzerland versus Colombia match out in Vancouver. For 90 minutes of regular time, these two super resilient squads were locked in a 0-0 draw, basically canceling each other out despite a heavily pro-Colombia crowd. So, we went into a grueling 120 minutes of extra time, still scoreless, largely thanks to some unbelievable acrobatics by the goalkeepers. Finally, it all came down to a penalty shootout, where the Swiss just held their nerve to win it 4-3.
Now, what's really interesting here is exactly how that shootout was decided. As reported by Al Jazeera, Swiss goalkeeper Gregor Kobel brilliantly saved Cucho Hernandez's effort, stepping up right when his country needed him most, which allowed Ruben Vargas to just hammer home the decisive penalty. Honestly, it was a total masterclass in pressure management.
But Switzerland definitely wasn't the only team surviving by the skin of their teeth. Defending champions Argentina actually had to stage a stunning late comeback to bypass Egypt 3-2 in Atlanta. Elsewhere, Belgium silenced the American co-host by emphatically eliminating the USA 4-1. And in an incredibly tense all-Iberian clash down at Dallas, a rock-solid Spain edged out Portugal 1-0, courtesy of a late goal from Mico Marino, which officially ended Cristiano Ronaldo's final World Cup run.
Clash: Spain versus Belgium. Unstoppable force versus immovable object. So that brings us to our first featured blockbuster quarterfinal matchup taking place in Los Angeles. If you love contrasting styles of play, oh, this is the match for you. It's quite literally the unstoppable force meeting the immovable object. The question on literally every pundit's mind going into this fixture is simple but monumental. Can anyone break Spain's defense?
And this brilliantly illustrates why that question is so tough to answer. On one side, under manager Luis de la Fuente, Spain has kept a record 6 straight clean sheets at this World Cup. Guys, they have played over 10 hours of tournament football without conceding a single goal. That's a historic level of defensive solidity. On the flip side, Rudy Garcia's Belgium is riding an 18-game unbeaten streak and averaging over 2.5 goals per game. Their attacking revival has been an absolute spectacle to watch.
When we look at the personnel, the star power here is undeniable. Spain brings the electrifying Lamine Yamal on the right wing, alongside the lethal Mikel Oyarzabal up front and the clutch midfielder Mikel Merino. Belgium counters with Charles de Ketelaere, who, remember, scored twice against the USA, and Romelu Lukaku, who just notched his incredible 93rd national team goal. They're also going to lean heavily on Hans van Aken in the midfield, especially since it was confirmed that Amadou Onana is unfortunately out with an ACL injury.
With margins this unbelievably tight, expert opinions are totally split. Looking at predictions from the analysts at SportsMole, they noted that there may be more grit than glamour in this all-European clash, and they're predicting a narrow 1-0 victory for Spain. Now, we certainly aren't taking sides here, but it perfectly highlights how this could easily be a tactical chess match decided by a single moment of brilliance or a single mistake.
Clash: Argentina versus Switzerland. The defending champions meet the resilient underdogs. Now, let's shift our attention over to the next massive quarterfinal clash taking place in Kansas City. The entire world is tuning in to find out, can Switzerland's incredibly disciplined defensive block actually stop Lionel Messi's defending champions? I mean, Argentina escaped a major scare against Egypt, proving they are vulnerable, but also proving they know exactly how to survive when the pressure is on.
For the Swiss, the stakes literally haven't been this high in generations. Switzerland is entering their first World Cup quarterfinal since they actually hosted the tournament way back in 1954. Just think about that for a second. That is over 70 years of waiting for a moment like this. The pressure is immense, but the opportunity to become national legends, it's right there for the taking.
The final countdown, how to watch the remaining matches. Let's move to and see how this builds into the broader tournament schedule.
Because you will not want to miss a second of this action. Here's exactly how and when you can watch these global titans collide. For our viewers in the US watching on Eastern Time, the schedule is beautifully spaced out. France takes on Morocco in Boston on July 9th at 4 p.m. The Spain versus Belgium heavyweight bout is in LA on July 10th at 3 p.m. Then, on July 11th, we get a fantastic doubleheader. Norway versus England in Miami at 5 p.m., followed by Argentina against Switzerland under the lights in Kansas City at 9 p.m. For our global audience, particularly those tuning in from the Middle East on Gulf Standard Time, keep in mind the time zone jump pushes your viewing dates forward. France and Morocco kicks off exactly at midnight going into July 10th. Spain versus Belgium is at 11 p.m. on July 10th. Norway and England will be a late one at 1 a.m. on July 12th, and for the true early birds, Argentina and Switzerland starts at 5 a.m. on July 12th.
From there, the surviving 4 teams are going to march into the semifinals on July 14th in Dallas and July 15th in Atlanta. The third-place playoff happens in Miami on July 18th, and it all culminates on the grandest stage of them all, the World Cup final on July 19th at the New York, New Jersey Stadium.
So the crucial point is knowing exactly where to point your remote. If you're in the United States, Fox Sports is your home for the tournament, broadcasting across Fox, FS1, and streaming on the Fox One app. If you're in the UAE or the broader Meta region, BN Sports holds the exclusive rights, providing comprehensive coverage in both Arabic and English.
We are witnessing the beautiful game at its absolute pinnacle. With 10-hour defensive shutouts, dynamically revived golden generations, and battle-tested defending champions all colliding on a historic 48-team stage, who has the grit, the tactics, and the magic to lift the ultimate prize on July 19th? Make sure your calendars are marked because the drama is just getting started. Thanks for joining me on this explainer and enjoy the matches.